Welcome back to another episode. I am Sticks. This is my best friend and co-host D-Lo, and we are Too Complex. We got some really, really interesting information for y'all today. Some of it a little bit scary, but before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these bangers that we drop every single week. D-Lo, how's your week been since we recorded on Tuesday, my brother?
Man, the week has been... Since we recorded on Tuesday, I think, if I recall correctly, I said Tuesday last week was, it was rocky, but I'm not one to complain like that. The rest of the week was good. No real complaints. I mentioned to you yesterday that I was helping my sister-in-law move into her college.
How did that go
today?
What's up, brother? Talk to me.
The way freshmen are moved into school, at least here in Charlotte, the way that they are moved in is way different from what I remember. Because like I said, when we were in school, obviously we were on campus 2 months. Well, you said you was on campus a month.
A month or so, maybe 2 months.
I was.
It was a while,
basically all summer, from June until school started.
Season started.
I was there. But even then, the civilian students got to school a week before, went through orientation, did so on, and had little events that they got to do, and then they went into the school year. That ain't how it worked here. They had orientation last week for a day, and then they went back home, and then they moved in the weekend before school started, which is crazy to me. Because you don't get any type of
feel for how college, feel for how college is actually going to be.
You don't get that feel before the chaos start. Because we know when classes start, it's going to be crazy. Oh, I got to get up. I got to walk here. I don't know where this is. You know what I mean? So
facts.
So I mean, it was weird to me. But I mean, and then they have so many more amenities than we used to have. Now, which is crazy, but it's just different, man. That experience was different for me. I was asking all type of questions, and they're like, "Nah, that's not how we do it." Now I'm like, "Okay,
bro." This generation is so antisocial, bro. Because like you said, when we were there, it was football camp, which was probably like you said, a month, 2 months prior to the season starting or the school year starting. Because the first game is the first week of school usually,
right.
And it's like, we were there, and the moment people came on campus, it was like, so we had something at Central called Sortie, and Sortie was like a whole week long thing. They had events that they went to, parties that they went to. They went to go, they had their schedule, went to go find out where their buildings were, like things like that. Whenever we were in school, and of course, whenever we been seeing nothing but each other all week, so whenever the civilian students come on campus, it's like, oh, shoot, we go find out what's going on over here. You know what I'm saying? So it was more of an experience. Boy, yeah, for sure. Because I ain't seen nothing but D-Lo all for 2 months.
Well, you didn't really see me, but
I know, but I'm just giving the people, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't seeing nothing but people like D-Lo for 2 months in a row, and I finally, you know what I'm saying, type shit. So it's just like you finally get to see other people, and it's like, oh snap! And they was there for the whole week, and then school year started. Then now it's time for the season, but
that's when the trouble used to start for us.
The first week of school or the week before?
No, the week before when the other kids came on campus. Cats used to miss practice. Or not miss practice,
man,
be late for practice.
Late for practice.
They trying to
Trust, I know, brother.
Study and whatnot.
Man, listen, my senior year. Let me tell you, it was some fun times. My senior year, fun times. But yeah, it's so different now, bro. It's crazy how times have changed. And when you say amenities, bro, I haven't been on a college campus since I left college. Well, that's a lie. But I haven't been back to like C Central in a long time. Yep. And they have so many more amenities, so many different buildings and stuff that's been it's a totally different school from what I remember when I was there. You know what I'm saying? So they got so many different things now, but the antisocial got to stop. I'm trying to break my daughter that right now, but either way.
Ain't nothing wrong with being antisocial, but it's just weird to me that you wouldn't have them on campus a week before adjusting to not being underneath mommy and daddy anymore.
True.
And, like I said, getting used to it before chaos start, because once them bullets start flying, classes get to rolling. That's,
Sam want to be a saleswoman, so she need to not be antisocial.
Yeah, that's true.
She don't need to have that.
Yeah.
But but getting into the content, D-Lo, man. So this past week, we've just found out that there was a data breach.
Yep.
Data breach here, bro, with people's social security numbers and personal data. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. You might have a different number, but 2.8 billion people's information has been breached in a national public data cyber attack. D-Lo, what does this mean for the future, man? Because I mean, we've had things in the past where like Target, where people were putting things over the card readers and Target and stealing people's card information and things like that. That's been going on for a while now. But now people are breaching personal information and social security numbers. Bro, what does this mean for the future, bro?
Yeah, the number I saw was 2.9 billion, and
Okay.
From what I read, that number could be way less than that. It's just for multiple people have multiple accounts with their information in it, and that's living and deceased individuals. What this means for us is that, in my opinion, we're going to have to change the way we have our, we acquire stuff, because the social security number is everything attached to you, your credit score, the house that you purchase, or cars that you purchase, anything that you do, credit cards, all that stuff. That's how you get that information. That's how you get access to that, is with your social security number. So we're gonna have to change that, because now that has been breached, and everybody, literally, they said, is the thought is, or potential of every American's social security number being taken. We're gonna have to do something about that, because what hackers and what these type of thieves do is they sit and wait. They sit on that information and wait for the perfect time, and then they use it. And luckily it came out. And the only reason it came out is because they were sued. One person sued the company that you mentioned, and now all of this information is coming out. But had it not come out, I wonder if we would have ever known that our social security numbers have been taken. But we need a new system in place. That social security number was antiquated anyway. So,
So yeah, I mean, but because it's like now they're telling us, we need to freeze our credit, change our passwords, do things like that, and I don't think anything prior to now is going to be compromised, but maybe of course moving forward, that's how identity theft happens. Stuff opens up. You get a house in your name all of a sudden. You got a car in your name all of a sudden. You got credit cards in your name all of a sudden. You got AT&T phones and stuff on your account all of a sudden. You're like, where the hell did all this come from? And all of a sudden now you got to go through the process of getting all that stuff wiped from your credit. But
which is it's just long process, and sometimes doesn't go your way.
Exactly. So people out there, man, protect. Now that we know these things, that this in 2.8, and apparently this information has been sold on the dark web. And I saw something, D-Lo. It said that 2.8 billion people's information was acquired and was being sold on the dark web for $3.5 million. So that equates to $1.20 per individual.
How was that?
3.5 million divided by 2.9 million is $1.20, bro.
But it was billion though.
Billion. That's what I meant. 3.9 billion people sold for 3.5 billion people. That's almost 1-to-1.
I thought they sold it for they were trying to sell it for
3.5 million. You know what? You're right. I'm looking at it right here. 3.5 million. So that's even less than that.
Yeah, that's what.
That's even less.
How is that?
I thought it said billion. That's on me. I thought it said billion. But $3.5 million, bro. So that's your information is not worth shit to these people.
Exactly.
They're just trying to get it out. It's not worth a damn thing.
It's worth a lot.
It's worth your life, bro. Yeah. It's worth your freaking life.
It's worth a lot, because that's realistically, that's how the United States is able to get the type of money that they get, is from you having a social security number. It's a lot that we can discuss with this, but we're not that knowledgeable on a lot of it, just hearsay. But what I do know is the credit that you get, you're able to access, is because of your social security number, and that's how the United States is also able to say they're worth whatever amount of money is because of the social security number. So I mean,
It's insane,
It's
bro.
crazy.
For them people to be selling this for pennies on the dollar, bro. Literally pennies on the dollar. Your information. So we need to protect ourselves. So moving forward, y'all, if y'all listening to this, watching this, protect your identity. Freeze your credit.
Best you can.
Sign up for identity theft protection. Change your passwords. All of those things. Change your passwords. Right. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all protecting yourself out here, man.
Yep. All right, so moving from that and into sports, we're a sports and entertainment podcast, but that's something that we had to talk about. It was just crazy that's
it
happening.
Was.
And every American is affected by that. But anyway, moving into sports, as we inch closer to the college football season and games are about to kick off this season, it is expected that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, be in the news. But as of lately, or as this week, it has not been the headlines that we are expecting of him pairing up for a successful season with Colorado. It's more so about a feud with CBS. During the press conference, Coach Sanders refused to answer questions from CBS reporters claiming, CBS, I'm not doing nothing with CBS. Next question. And moves on. He then comes back to the reporter, says, nothing to do with you. I got love for you, but they know what they did. Sticks, do you have an issue, or let me say this, what are your thoughts on Coach Prime's approach in this situation? And I know I'm vague. We don't know a lot about this situation, but it is something to discuss because I'm not going to say it's out of character for Deion, but, or Coach Prime, but he's typically, upbeat with the reporters. He is stern sometimes, but not in this manner. So what are your thoughts on his approach?
I respect Coach Prime for, standing on business, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, like D-Lo said, we don't know much about what the beef is between or what happened between CBS and Coach Prime. But for Coach Prime used the word foul. Like what they did was foul. You know what I'm saying?
Sound like Kendrick. The cold foul. I don't know why you still pretending.
But you stupid. But he said what they did was foul. And I think that they, according to some reports, they were working on a project together where Coach Prime was holding up his end of the bargain, and all of a sudden at the last minute, CBS pulled out. Should I pause that? Nah, I shouldn't pause it. But
you do it all the time. But yeah,
but CBS pulled out of whatever project they were working on at the last minute, and that made Deion Sanders feel some type of way. And I don't know what the information that he had given to CBS or how open he was with the program. Yep. But at the same time, it's like, for him to use a word like foul, they did something crazy. And I can imagine whatever it was for him to shut down reporters trying to, during press conferences, asking about the program. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of speculation online and on social media that Coach Prime was upset about a ranking that he was given, like the what was it, 12th in the conference, the 12th best, second to last, basically. Second to last ranked coach in the conference. That ain't something that Coach Prime would be mad about. That just gives, I feel like that would give Coach Prime more motivation to be number one, because that's his personality. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't got nothing to do with it. It has to do with whatever CBS got going on, because they did something wrong to Buddy. They had to have done something wrong to Buddy. And I respect it for standing on business. Like, I ain't working with you. You work for CBS. I ain't got nothing. It ain't against you. It's CBS. I love you. I respect you. Ain't nothing against you, but CBS know what they did and they filed for that. So I can respect it for standing on business.
Yeah. I feel I am in agreement with you. I think without knowing the full details of the situation of the feud that he apparently has with CBS, I don't have an issue with his stance and his approach here. I think a lot more public figures should refuse to work with and have these type of engagements with these major news outlets, because when they do them wrong, they try to keep going with business as usual, but it's not business as usual. You're using my name to spin whatever narrative that you want to spin in order to make it, in order to get clicks or in order to make me look a certain way for your base or whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? And in this instance, based off of what we have heard, again, don't know the full detail, but to some degree, Coach Sanders confirmed that was the case without letting all the cat out the bag. So I think if everybody was to do this, yeah, we wouldn't get a lot of stories, but if more major news outlets or well-known media outlets were to treat public figures with respect, like they do, let me get that out. If they were to treat them with more respect, we probably would get more public figures to be, just blabble good information without really any effort putting into it. An example of that would be when they go on these podcasts, when they go on shows with people that they like, they just be giving out information just like you don't even have to ask
talking freely for real.
You don't have to ask them anything. But because a lot of them feel that they have been done wrong, or like their word has been spent in a way that they didn't really mean what was reported, they're tight-lipped now. And so, long story short, I don't have an issue with what Coach Prime is doing right now. Without knowing the full detail of it and just the little snippet that we've been told, I can't see any issues with it.
You think Coach Prime about to go on Club Shay Shay and spill the beans?
Well, I mean, he's been on Nightcap multiple times.
He has.
So, I mean, I don't know if he will this close to the season.
True.
He typically does all of that in the off season or right after the season, or like I think last year he did it maybe towards the end of the year, but gearing up to the season, I don't think he'll do it. But I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. He will surprise you.
I swear, Club Shay Shay, got the number one podcast for people to just go in there and tell their personal business.
Yeah, tell everything. I got this person.
What, yeah. Bro? They be going crazy on Club Shay Shay. But shout out to Shannon Sharp, man, because your podcast is booming and it's a safe space for everybody. So I appreciate your podcast, brother. But it's just a lot of, like I said, it's a lot we don't know. He actually ended up coming back to another reporter that was talking to him, and he was like, "You don't like us? Why are you doing this to yourself?" Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the Denver reporter. Yeah. There was something with that reporter apparently wrote something negative about the program last year or during the spring, and so he's just on a, But it was not even that though, D-Lo. He has written about Coach Prime in Colorado numerous times, like multiple double-digit amount of times, and every time he talks about Colorado and Coach Prime, it's never in a positive light. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, people don't like the fact that he is getting the attention that he is getting, and they are not really considered a winning team. Like last year, they went 4-8, but all everybody talked about was Colorado and Coach Prime. Like, I mean, case in point, the new football game, they're 87 overall, and they were 4-8 last year.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So people don't like that. A lot of coaches who broke their teeth in the coaching profession put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it and still aren't at the level that Coach Prime is. They don't like that. A lot of these reporters where, again, like Skip Baylesses of the world, they don't like the fact that he's had the opportunities that he's had. Because after he retired, he was with CBS and NFL.
He was,
and so on and so forth. So a lot of people in positions that they're in that are reporting on this individual or that are peers to Coach Prime, they won't say it publicly, but they don't like the fact that he's getting all of this attention and he is who he is. But I mean, he's put in the work. As a professional athlete, he's a well-known name, professional football and professional baseball. One of the only individuals to play a professional football and a professional baseball game in the same day and do well. And we're upset because he has opportunities after that. I mean, I don't know.
It's insane, man. I mean, I feel like sometimes the hate for. I don't know how we always do this, but we're gonna talk about him anyway. But it feels like sometimes the hate for Deion Sanders is becoming the same hate for LeBron James. Like, it's on the same level these days. Like, why y'all just hate these dudes for no reason? Like, they haven't done nothing to y'all. Like, why are y'all hating these dudes? But shout out to Coach Prime though for standing on business, man. Because if you don't want to work with them, don't work with them. I don't blame you. If they did something foul to you, that's true. You shouldn't work with them.
Yeah, and that segment's wrapped up. But you mentioned the hate for Braun. I saw something on Instagram where an anonymous player. I hate when people do that. You're anonymous, but you want to tell all this nonsense. With the summer league Lakers team said that they couldn't stand Bronny because it was obvious that he was getting treated differently than everybody else, and it made it hard for the team to have chemistry, and that's why they initially struggled because of how Bronny was getting treated. I mean, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, anonymous player, but that ain't really Bronny's fault that he's getting treated differently. I don't think Bronny went into. Now I could be wrong. I want to say that I could be wrong. I don't know Bronny. I don't really follow Bronny like that. But he doesn't seem like that type of kid. But perception can and cannot be reality sometimes. But it ain't really Bronny's fault that he gets treated differently because of who his dad is.
That's true.
And coming into that situation as a player that has to play with Bronny, you have to understand that. And if you can't understand that, then I'm not going to say you weren't raised right, because we all know that life just ain't fair. What you get for you and what's in your favor is not always in my favor.
For sure.
So it's just crazy. And I know I went off on a tangent, but I saw that you mentioned Braun and the hate he get, and I saw that. I was like, oh, that's a perfect
segue. For sure. But moving on to a little bit of Olympic talk. So Simone Biles, her mom, Shannon Biles, has come out and has done a couple of interviews and has talked to some reporters about how she would love to have a better personal relationship with her Olympic gold medalist, and now has been labeled as the GOAT of gymnastics, Simone Biles. And I don't necessarily know how I feel about this, bro, because you know me personally, you know my history, the relationship that I had with my mom. But it was nothing like this though. But I can kind of see it from a personal perspective a little bit because of how I was brought up. But I don't know how I feel about it. How you feel about Simone Biles' mom, Shannon Biles, coming out and saying that she wants to have a more personal relationship with her daughter now all of a sudden?
And that's the thing, right? Everybody's going to put that part into it all of a sudden, and rightfully so. But
we don't know the efforts prior to that. Right, I agree. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But all I'm saying is that's all you're going to see outside of the spins that it's getting right now from people like us, the regular Joe Schmoes, is, all of a sudden now the mom wants to come because, and again, we don't know. But I'll say this: if I'm Simone, if I was to give Simone advice, I would never tell anybody how to feel about a situation. And for Simone, but if I was Simone, I would try to give my mom an opportunity. The reason I would try to give my mom an opportunity is because this situation is difficult, right? Her mother, when she had her and her sister, was a drug addict. She could have easily, now obviously being a drug addict, she probably should have never had kids in the first place. At that point in her life. At that point in her life, I should say, she should probably have never had kids. But we all know drug addicts go through different things where unfortunate situations happen. Either they were streetwalkers or something happened to where they, just got caught up in a bad situation or whatever. And children came from that. But her mother was battling drug addiction, and because of that, she gave up Simone Biles. She put her in a foster home, and luckily, her parents, Shannon's parents, went and adopted both Simone and her sister. I hope I say this right. Is it, how you say her sister's name?
I think it's Aria. So let me find it. Hold on, let me find it.
It's Aria, I believe. I believe it is Aria. But anyway, so they went and adopted her.
Audria.
Yes, Audria. Yeah. There you go, Audria. They went and adopted both of them, allowed them to have a normal childhood or as normal as they could, put Simone in gymnastics. We now have Simone as we know her, Simone Biles, greatest Olympic gymnast of all time. But for her mother, man, it's like she had kids probably when she shouldn't have, but she went ahead and had them. And she did the best she could. And when she realized she could not do the best for them, she gave them up. She put them in foster home. And then, like I said, the grandparents came and picked them up. And now that feels like she's in a spot in life to where she may be clean now, or she may want to just close loose ends, tie up loose ends in her life and have a relationship with her children. I don't see why she should be penalized for that. Now, like I said, I'll never tell anybody how to feel about a certain situation, especially when I don't know all the details. But if Simone wants to reconcile with her mother, she definitely should. And all of a sudden now her mom comes in. That's because people think that she wants something from her daughter. And if she does, okay. But we've said this multiple times. Simone doesn't owe her anything. Children don't owe their parents anything. Now those that make it end up providing for their parents because they're thankful for the sacrifices that they've made. But in this case, we know that her mother didn't make any sacrifices for her other than giving her up. So, so I don't think she should expect anything. But I know you said you don't know how to feel about it, but after me saying all of that,
yeah, we have some of the same feelings, and I'm kind of twisted on the situation because I've had not necessarily similar upbringing as what Simone had, but at the same time, it's like I have some experiences with what this situation talks about.
Right.
And how do I explain this? I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without being too personal.
Yeah.
So I didn't know who my father was for a long time. Well, I knew who he was, but he wasn't around.
Right.
But the moment that I heard that it was when that, Sticks might be going to the NFL. Now my dad want to reach out to my grandma and find out what's going on all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say all of a sudden because it was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was very much all of a sudden because from my whole upbringing, for what I knew, I didn't have a father. I had one, I had a donor, but I didn't have a dad. I didn't have a father figure. So all of a sudden now you want to pop up and, he goes to the league, you know, saying, I've been watching him this whole time. And I've been keeping up with Charles and I've been keeping up with Sticks and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that doesn't excuse you for the past 22 years of my life, bro.
Right.
So that's why I kind of say all of a sudden. Now, on the side of, mom, I have a little bit more empathy for her because, like you said, she had an addiction. She was an addict. She at the time wasn't a good person. Like you said, she could have possibly been a streetwalker. She could have been doing a whole lot of different things. And the fact that she was, to me personally, the fact that she had the wherewithal to at least foster the kids because she knew she wasn't a good enough parent to take care of these children. So that she had the wherewithal to at least foster them. And God, thank God that her parents, Simone's grandparents, came and said, okay, we're going to take care of these children. Now, from a report that I saw, the report that I read, I didn't like the report because it made it seem like it was all of a sudden. It made it seem like, her mom is broke and she needs some support. That's what the report that I read, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it went so far as to talk about like her credit, what she has in her bank account, what her cars are worth, different electronics and stuff that she has in her possession, like what she's worth and what she owes. She's filed bankruptcy. Like they talked about all of these things in this report. And it made it seem like Simone needs to take care of her mother or Simone owes her mama something. She don't owe Shannon Biles shit.
Right.
She don't owe her nothing. But like D-Lo said though, I can, if I was in that situation, if it was something like, well, I was in that situation and I didn't take well to it at all. I was opposite of what we're saying Simone should possibly do. But
with my dad. Okay, but that's
my dad.
different though. And then the reason that's different, I'll say, I don't know that situation. I know you well, but I don't know that situation well, right? But the reason that's different is because, and I'm sorry that I cut you off.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But the reason that is different is because, actually, I think it is similar. But the reason it's different is because he had nothing to do with you, while in your upbringing. Like you didn't even really know. Did you ever spend any time with him in your younger years?
Not time. I saw that man 3 times in my entire life.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, at least they don't remember it. Simone and Audrey don't remember it, but at least they spent time, from what we know, with their mother before she gave them. Like, she gave Simone and Audrey up in their toddler years. So that's why I say it's different. And then
but
it's their mother too.
And then true, but in the sense of that, my dad gave me up in my toddler years.
Your infant years.
Yeah. Well, toddler, I was, not to get too personal, but yeah. So basically, but I mean, another little tidbit, if this changes your mind about the situation a little bit. My dad was my neighbor. He lived a block from me my whole life.
Yes, you told me that.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't take kindly to that at all. I wanted to fight Buddy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to fight Buddy. But I mean,
we view dads and mothers differently in situations like this.
I think, me personally, if it was my mom and she lived a block from me, I would want to fight her too. No, I'm just saying. I'm just being real, because it's like, don't, you know. It does seem very all of a sudden. The feeling is a very all of a sudden feeling for me personally. But I can understand on the other side, it's like, I did what I had to do whenever I was going through something.
Yeah.
And the report also she wasn't, but the report also says that she had been keeping up with her children all the way through their childhood and up until adulthood with her father. But her dad was just like, you ain't right. You ain't well. I'm not letting you do this. You know what I'm saying? Which I commend granddad for. I commend him. I commend him for that. And, you know, according to other reports as well, Simone Biles calls her grandparents her parents, like mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different underlying situation here that, me personally, I don't think Shannon can come back from. Honestly, but just like Shannon said, it's really up to Simone. Like, she's leaving it up to her to say, I want her to come out and say she wants to have a conversation. But last thing I'm gonna pass it back over to you. Shannon has a personal contact number to Simone.
Yeah, but
why not just give her a call, bro? Like, if you really want this relationship, if it was me personally, if it was me and my daughter, and I really, really wanted to have a personal conversation with my daughter, and I had a phone number to call, I don't give a fuck how awkward or how I would need that closure. I would have to call you and say, hey, I know it's been, say something and give her an opportunity to say, you know what? I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I can have that closure to say she don't want it, or it could go the opposite way. Okay, cool. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to mend this situation. I would need that for myself. Everybody ain't the same, but I would, if I had a personal number, I would call.
No, 100%. No, I get that. But who's to say she hasn't done it before, right? And then
true. We don't know the whole backstory. That's right.
Grandfather, as well as Simone, was like, no, not in the right headspace. Let's try this another time.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. I'm a person that feels like, depending on the situation, I think everybody deserves a second chance. I'm not saying that Shannon absolutely deserves a second chance here, but, she is willing, like you said, all of a sudden, or like everybody's going to say, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But she is willing to try to reconcile with her child. And because she is trying to, she's leaving it up to Simone to determine if that is something that she wants or not. I understand where you're coming from, where you say if it were you have a personal contact to the person that you want to reconcile with, to reach out to them. But I can also
at least in a text or something. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I also can understand though, where it's like, let me just see if this is something that they actually want. If they want it, they'll come to me on their time. Because they have to be in the right headspace in order to deal with this situation. Now, on the flip side of that, I now that we talked this through, I don't like the fact that she did an interview to bring all this out.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, well, I did this. It's up to Simone to decide if she wants to. You know what I mean?
Because it just seems weird, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this could have been not talked about, honestly. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like this, because the interview and going on TV and doing that, it seems so like, just for lack of a better phrase, all of a sudden. Like now, you know what I'm saying? Like it just seems so weird to me.
It seems
it does. Woe was me. It seems so woe was me.
Me. Okay, I did this. Maybe this will get Simone to forgive me, and Audria to forgive me, and now, you know, we can reconcile our differences for what I did. But I mean, you and I are different type of individuals, you know, and majority of America and those that would have a chance to listen to this podcast are different individuals. You know, you'll do what you need to take care of your children. Luckily, we didn't have those type of addictions to where it made us want to get away from our kids, so we can either continue to do that addiction or find a way to get away from it.
Yeah,
right. But you know, it's easy to judge on the outside looking in. But like I said, I'm a person that thinks that depending on the situation, everybody deserves a second chance. And maybe she doesn't deserve a second chance, but I think they should at least have some type of conversation. And again, I don't tell people how to feel about a situation like this, but if I were her, I would, you know, at least have the conversation. And after that, if I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to deal with her, then it is what it is.
Yeah, because I'm as you know, I'm a second chance giving ass motherfucker, bro. I give a lot of second chances to people, but it is a complex situation, bro. It just depends on how you look at the situation and what your upbringing was and what your experience was and how well you can empathize with the situation. But I'm just torn because I want there to be a relationship. I really do. It just, but the other side of me that's been through a similar situation is like,
I mean, I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, and I have tried, but my situation wasn't exactly that, because I did spend time with my biological father. We've had occasions where I've been in his presence for not a long time, but you know, for a decent amount of time. But you know, tries to reach out here and there, and I don't shoo him away, but it's awkward. It is weird.
Yeah,
because I think he's trying to find a way to connect, and there's
a disconnect. Yeah,
and so that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody deserves seconds. Parents back from when they were separated from their kids, I think they deserve some type of second chance, unless it was just like, I can't even think of it, like the situation you were talking about with your dad. That probably doesn't deserve a second chance, right? But this situation, I know I'm saying she deserves one because of the drug situation, the addiction, and maybe she's clean now, and you know,
it says she is. They said that she is clean,
right? Now. And so,
I wanted to shoot the ones with Buddy, dog. I wanted to shoot for more reasons than just him not being around. Like, I have some thoughts in my head about why I wanted to fight him. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that.
Conversation.
We've had that conversation too. She does. I think, all in all, in my personal opinion, I think she does deserve some kind of reconciliation, or at least some kind of closure, to where either Simone wants to, you know, have a relationship with her, or she doesn't.
Audria too.
Audria too, yeah. But either they want to or they don't. And that's the kind of closure that she definitely deserves. And then she'll be able to move on from whatever, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like the report. The report literally, bro, like, the report, half of the report was financial and showing bankruptcy files. It's like, come on, bro. Like, that doesn't make Shannon sound any better in the situation at all. But I can see both sides.
It's convenient because she just came from the Olympics, and now you could paint her as a villain or
a hero.
You know, so that's all it is.
Yep.
Staying with the Olympics, moving to basketball, back at the basketball again. So 2028 projections for who is going to be on the Olympic team have been out pretty much since the semifinal game, honestly,
basically,
of the Olympic tournament for the United States men. And while there are some notable players on there, there aren't really that it guy outside of, there's no Bron, no Steph, no KD, those type of players. Now, will Anthony Edwards elevate to that type of player? It remains to be seen. But Sticks, how do you feel about the projected roster for the 2028 Olympic team? And do you think there will be that bona fide guy when the time comes?
So there's a lot of guys on this list that are still up and coming players. So you mentioned Anthony Edwards. You got John Morant that's been basically out for the past season, maybe season and a half. You got guys like Tyrese Halliburton, maybe Jaylen Brown if he decides to go back, maybe even Jason Tatum if he decides to go back after what happened in this current Olympics. But then you got guys coming in like Cooper Flagg. You may have Chet Holmgren that's probably going to play for the team. Gentlemen like that. And you got Bam Adebayo that's slated to come back in 2028. So you have guys who have experience. Devin Booker slated to come back in 2028. I'm on ever since the Dream Team, there has been at least 1, 2, maybe 3 bona fide superstars, top 20 players in history of NBA on these teams. Back to when you had Mike on the team, back when you had Kobe on the team, you got LeBron on the team, you got all these guys who are the it guys, like D'Lo said in the intro. They going forward, unless something happens over this next 4 years, who's gonna be that guy, bro? Like who? And I don't.
Oh, KD played in 2021, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you had those guys. Historically, we've had those generational talents on the team, bro. And the rest of these countries ain't doing nothing but getting better. France is getting better with Wemby on the team. Serbia's going to be great. Canada is looking crazy. Like they got some young cats on their team that's ascending into the top of the NBA themselves. So it's like, to me personally, like we said, if somebody over these next 4 years elevates to that it guy, hopefully it's like hopefully somebody does, and they have a generational talent on the team. They're all generational talents in their own right. I mean, they're in the NBA, they're the top 1%. All of them are generational to me personally, but it's hard for me to sit here and say, D-Lo, that I feel like it's gonna be tough sledding for them boys moving forward, dog. I just, you know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't for LeBron, KD, I can go on and say a little bit of AD and Steph Curry, this would have been a tough Olympics for Team USA, bro. Tough Olympics because you had LeBron averaging a triple-double the whole freaking Olympics. You had Steph going off for 37 and I think it was back-to-back games, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went for 37 against France in the final 2. But just going crazy, like some of the greatest. You can make your argument for all 3 of them to be in the GOAT conversation. And I know KD says he needs to be in there, but bro, you're not even top 10 in my book. But either way, Steph, LeBron, KD, they were these guys who the big dogs on the team, like the OGs. Who gonna be that guy, bro? I don't see nobody that's coming up that's gonna be that guy. I feel like it's gonna be tough sledding for them boys. What you think?
Yeah, I think it will be tough sledding. But the main reason, though, is because the world is getting better at basketball.
Bro.
David Stern and now Adam Silver have set out to make this a global game, and it is a global game. You have individuals from across the world that love basketball, that enjoy playing basketball, enjoy watching basketball. It is truly a global game. Ever since Dirk Nowitzki and those type of individuals, I said it in the last episode, Tony Kukoc from Croatia, those type of individuals, ever since they have made way in the NBA, it's expanded the game all over Europe, all over the world. And people are catching up with at least the men, it seems like. I mean, I know the women won by 1 point in the championship game in the Olympics, but they dogged everybody else in the Olympics. But for the men, it's going to be tough sledding. And without that bona fide star that you mentioned, without the generational talent, top 20 type talent on the all-time type talent on the league, on the team, I think they will struggle. I mean, obviously, the first couple games in the Olympics or in the FIBA World Games and those type of games, they'll beat whoever they need to beat. But when it comes to gold medals, it's going to be dogfights because they just don't have that guy. Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards can grow to be, at least from what we saw before they lost to who they lose to? The Nuggets?
Anthony Edwards, they lost to the Mavericks.
Mavericks, yes, right, correct. They beat the Nuggets before they lost to the Mavericks. He was looking like he was taking that next step to be that guy
for
in the
sure.
NBA. But everybody else on this list is like, I mean, they want Jason Tatum to be that guy, and he has all the tools, the height, the versatility, the shooting, the dribbling to be that guy. But is he going to be that guy? I mean, he wasn't even the MVP of his team in the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals. And I just don't think, even though the other person from his team is a projected player for the team, I don't think he's that type of guy either.
True.
So, and it's my opinion. They very well could be, they are those guys, but from what I'm looking at and what I see as of right now, they're still young. I don't think they're going to be those type of players. So it will be tough sledding.
Yeah. So who on this team, and from the projections that I'm seeing, they're not even talking about bringing AD back, which I think they should. They should bring it back as a forward and opposed to a center. But that's neither here nor there. Who on this projected team do you see has the best chance of being that guy that we're talking about?
Anthony Edwards is the one that's just head and shoulders the guy for me. I like Ant-Man's game. I like his competitiveness. I like his charisma, versatility. I like his charisma. I just like he got that dog in him. You know what I mean? So I think it could be Anthony Edwards if he remains true to who he is. If he keeps working hard, puts in the hours, which I think he will. I think it could be Anthony Edwards. But I mean, we're talking about the guy, like Steph Curry. When you think about shooting, it's nobody else you think of before Steph Curry to ever play the game of basketball. Steph Curry's the guy. Obviously, we talk about LeBron is always in the GOAT conversation, whether you like him or not. He's going to be in that GOAT conversation. Only person it's plenty of people that people try to put in front of him, but realistically, the only person that is in front of him is Michael Jordan. I don't see that type of person. I mean, and then KD, we talked about him saying he's 6'9", really probably 7'1". The most versatile
scorer
in the
I'm telling you, what? Yeah.
And so like that I don't see that. You have Chet, and Chet works out with KD, but Chet is not KD. I'm sorry. So
facts.
The only one I really can see is Anthony Edwards. Jalen Brunson is just too small in my opinion. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Isaiah Thomas is considered one of the greatest point guards ever, but I just don't.
Which Isaiah Thomas? Pistons, right?
80s, 90s.
Okay.
Isaiah
Got you.
Detroit Pistons.
Got you. I just want to make sure. I want to make sure we clarified.
Not the recent Isaiah Thomas, right? And they try to put Cooper Flag in there, but I think they overhype Cooper Flag.
I think they do too.
What they saw with the current team not being serious with the 18 and under team. So.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I like your argument for Ant-Man. I think Devin Booker has probably the best chance of being that guy. Just being in the city, I think so. And this is why I say that. This is why we know you don't agree. We see that. But and the reason why I say that is because in the situation that he's in right now in Phoenix, he has the best chance to develop his game with KD around him and Bradley Beal in his wing. He's effectively the point guard for that team. He's never been a point guard in his life, but he's effectively the point guard for that team, or from what I know. I don't think he was a point guard, you know what I'm saying, in college, and he has never been a point guard in his professional career. He's always been the two guard, but now he's effectively the point guard for this team. So he has the best chance of developing his game to a different level that he hasn't had before when it comes to playmaking, shot creation, scoring, shooting, and being the facilitator for Team USA moving forward. I think, well, at least in 2028. So I think Devin Booker has a really good argument for that. They also added in the guy like Paolo Banchero. I don't think he's going to be the guy, but he has a lot of upside. His ceiling is very, very high. And especially in the next 4 years, he could elevate to be a star he's already a star in the NBA, but he can be a superstar over the next 4 years. So these guys have 4 years to develop their game and become a dream team in a sense. But I do think them not having AD on this list of people who could potentially come back is damning, because I don't think that you're going to get over with just having Chet and Bam Adebayo as your centers, or as people who have defensive presence in the paint. I don't think you're going to get by with that. Now, Chet is amazing. 7 foot, 2 guy, rangy, can shoot it, can dribble it. Like him and Wemby always get a lot of comparisons to each other. So, and I think they have some guys who can develop into, that kind of talent, but not having a top 20 of all time. We've had 2, 3, 4 of them mugs on the team historically for the Olympics, and not having that going forward, it's going to be tough sledding, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to be tough sledding.
Yeah. I mean, you said the guy though. And I like Devin Booker's competitiveness. I like, he has the dog in him too. I don't see him being the guy though.
I'm not saying he's going to be the face of the NBA,
points. Yeah.
But I think he has upside to be the guy for the Olympic team. I ain't saying the face of the NBA. I think that's going to be Anthony Edwards, just with his charisma, his work ethic, his game, how flashy he is, how he talks to the media, how, just his overall personality to me resonates with face of the NBA. But as far as talking about the Olympics and whose game will develop the best, I think that's Devin Booker.
I mean, I don't know, because when you said the guy, right, and then you said follow that with generational talent. I like Devin Booker's game. I want to keep that. For sure. 70 points. He's a scorer, right? Devin Booker was not the person that came to mind for me.
Okay. If Ant gonna be that guy, he need to get some playmaking in his bad boy, because he looked bad in some instances in this Olympics.
If who?
Anthony Edwards? Yeah, if Anthony Edwards is gonna be the guy, he got to get some playmaking in his bag, bro, because playmaking was not his forte in this Olympics at all. Yeah. And you can kind of see that too in the playoffs when he had to create and try to, make plays for other people when he was getting double teamed. He didn't look good. He didn't look good at all. So he got to put some playmaking in his bag before he becomes the guy. I mean,
I think this is what I think. I think that depending on what the people that we talked about, Bron, Steph, and KD, because I'm gonna say Bron's not gonna play. He's not gonna.
I'm gonna say he's not gonna be around at age 44. He ain't gonna be there, bro.
I'm gonna go out and say
he's not gonna be there.
Steph and KD could come back and play another one properly, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you minus those individuals, I think the teams going forward have an actual opportunity to be a team.
Agreed.
And not say,
oh yeah, we got LeBron, we got Steph.
James,
LeBron James.
We got Steph on the team.
We got KD on the team.
People scared. Like they were saying, like Bron puts fear in people on the international stage, right? So they have a chance to be an actual team to where roles can be true roles. You have people doing exactly what they're on the team to do, not saying, all right, I got to fit into this puzzle piece of what these 3 individuals are and who they are in the basketball world, and figure out what my role is going to be. Like Devin Booker's a scorer. Devin Booker was okay being the dirty guy, the defensive guy, doing the necessities to win.
Yeah.
And that's what helped. And everybody said he was the unsung hero.
For sure.
I don't think he's, even with
you don't think he's the hero though.
Like, not, I don't think he's that guy.
I got you.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy.
Yeah. And I could be wrong. A lot can change in 4 years. Games can drastically change and develop in 4 years. But as of right now, it's hard for me to see it. Because Devin Booker's been in the league, what, 8 years?
7 I believe years? So. I believe 7 to 8 years. I can look it up for you real quick.
So,
yeah. But I like Devin Booker's game, though. I know you do too.
I like it. Yeah, I like Devin Booker. But, I'm being realistic. That's all.
This is going into his 9th year. So, yeah, he's been in the league 8 years. Yeah, he's 2015 draft.
Yeah.
So, but moving on to the next topic, man. So, everybody knows the name Colin Kaepernick. And if you don't, he was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers that took a big stand with taking a knee during the national anthem based on his feelings with some of the injustice that was going on in the United States. Mm-hmm. He has thus since then been blackballed.
Yep.
I'm going to use that word. Yes. He's been blackballed in the NFL to where he has not been back ever since that instance when he took a knee during the national anthem. He's been trying to get back in the NFL. Some of his tactics have been kind of questionable by the way he did them about trying to get back in the NFL to be a quarterback, but has not been successful. Here recently, Jim Harbaugh is trying to give him an opportunity to get back in the NFL, but as a coach. So D-Lo, how do you feel about the situation with Colin Kaepernick, and do you think he should take this opportunity?
I think he should take the opportunity. Okay. Because I think Colin Kaepernick, while he should continue to chase his dreams, as everybody should always chase their dreams until they can't chase their dreams anymore, I feel like he needs to be realistic. And so you can continue to chase your dreams, but have some type of realism about that dream. A lot of the greats always say, I never had a plan B. It was always plan A. But most people need a plan B because plan A doesn't always work.
True.
And so Colin Kaepernick is 36 now. Mm-hmm. When he left the NFL, he wasn't considered a top tier quarterback. Mm-hmm. Chances are coming back into the NFL, he's not going to be considered a top tier quarterback. Mm-hmm. So the reality of you, and the funny thing is we're going to talk about somebody else here after this. Mm-hmm. But the reality of you coming back into the NFL as a quarterback is not going to happen. But in the way, at least in the way that you want it to be. Mm-hmm. But with the opportunities that Jim Harbaugh is giving you, you could maybe, learn to coach a profession, do drills and whatnot, still practice, and show some type of, I don't know, you always envision you accomplish something in the fashion that you want to, but in reality, you could have accomplished it a different way had you taken the opportunities available to you. Mm-hmm. So, like, what I'm trying to say is he could become a NFL quarterback again. Maybe this is high in the sky.
Yeah, for sure.
Sky, right. But he maybe could become an NFL quarterback by taking this opportunity, because we don't know what type of coach he's going to be. He could be quality control. He could just be some type of assistant, whatever the case may be. But getting your foot in the door is the first thing you want to do. Just get your foot in the door. And this is that opportunity. I feel like he should take this opportunity and be realistic about the fashion in which he is going to be going about trying to be an NFL quarterback.
I honestly think he takes that chance too. And I'm gonna echo what Stephen A. Smith said on his podcast, and he basically said the same thing you said, because if I'm Colin Kaepernick, I take this chance just to be able to, like you said, to get my foot back in the door. I've been trying to get in the NFL. When was that he got blackballed? It was back in 2017. He's been out of the league for now 7 full seasons. 7 full seasons. And he hasn't been in the league since he was 29 years old. Yep. And yes, Colin Kaepernick led his team to a Super Bowl. But just like D-Lo said, he was not one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. He wasn't whenever he was actually playing. So now him being out of the league for 7 years and trying to come back, he's definitely not going to be a top talent. He's not going to be a starting quarterback for damn sure. Because, if he's going to coach for the Chargers, you already got Justin Herbert out there, who's definitely better than you are right now, brother. So that's not happening. But to echo what Stephen A. Smith said, Stephen A. Smith also said that he should definitely take that chance. But he said that there's going to be there's going to be, what's the word? I'm trying to think of what the word to use, but there's going to be some doubt within that with him coming into the situation because number one, like D-Lo said, the Chargers ain't going to know exactly what kind of coach he is, if he's even going to be a good coach. And if they even want to take that chance on Colin Kaepernick possibly kneeling again. And that being a stain on their organization moving forward because he kneeled again during the national anthem. But also that could be another kind of avenue that they could think about is the same thing D-Lo just said. He comes into Jim Harbaugh's coaching staff and all of a sudden Justin Herbert gets hurt. Now he's trying to ingratiate Colin Kaepernick in there as a quarterback and when he was supposed to just be a coach. Like it could be some ideals that they can run away with to say, I don't think I want to take this chance. And I don't think you should put Colin Kaepernick on this. So it's going to be some doubt in this whole situation about what somebody's thought process is putting Colin Kaepernick on the coaching staff. It's going to be some theories that they can come up with in their mind to say, this seems kind of fishy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because this could, and not to say that Jim Harbaugh is trying to do that, not in the least bit, but the way Colin Kaepernick has done a couple of things trying to get back into the league, just like that tryout that he was supposed to have. And then because of a waiver, he moved it to another location that nobody knew about. And it was just the way some of the tactics that he used to try to get back into the NFL have been frowned upon. And with that history that he has now, some people might look at that like, okay, what is your real goal here? Are you really trying to be a coach or is this your way to try to get back into being a quarterback? Because he's been blackballed and nobody really believes in Colin Kaepernick no more, especially at 36 years old. You know what I'm saying? And which is crazy to say because of who we're going to talk about next. But
from my understanding, though, this was Jim Harbaugh offering him. It wasn't
for sure
going to him saying, hey, coach, I'm looking for any type of opportunity to get back into the league. Can you give me a chance as a coach? This was Jim Harbaugh saying, yo, I think you'd be a good coach, man. I know you've been trying to get into the league. It might be over for you, kid. Your time may be.
It might be over for you, kid.
Your time is probably come and gone, but you'll be in the NFL. The league has come to an agreement that, yes, you were, in fact, blackballed. That part of the situation is over now. Let's get you back in where at least you'll be in the NFL. You might not be a quarterback. And I'm putting words in Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, you're surmising what he might have said. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, my understanding was he went to Colin and not the other way around.
No, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. But just with the way people think about Colin Kaepernick now is like, will he be given an inch to try to take a mile?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think a lot of people's thought process around Colin Kaepernick is now. Yeah. And that could be a thought process that the Chargers organization says, I don't know what his real outcome or what his real goal is with this opportunity. So but that comes in the interview process. So whenever they have, I'm guessing they're gonna have an interview with Colin Kaepernick and they're gonna say, they're gonna ask him that question. Okay, like, what's your real goal here? Like, that's what, if I was an owner or a GM or something like that, or somebody who is, trying to put a coaching staff together with Jim Harbaugh, I would ask him that question. Okay, like, I know you've been trying to get back in the league as a quarterback for a while now, and it hasn't really worked out for you. And you've been offered this opportunity. What is your goal with this opportunity moving forward? I would ask that question. That would be an interview question for me. But I think he deserves the opportunity though, because I understand why he took the stand that he did back in 2017. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, the actions after the fact were kind of odd coming from some of the actions after the fact were kind of odd coming from Colin Kaepernick. So, you know, he has formed a lot of doubt in people's eyes in the NFL, and he's going to have to prove these people wrong, and this opportunity is going to be his opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Well, he's formed a lot of doubt in people's eyes because, like you said, because of how he went about it in certain situations of trying to get back into the league. But also, like we said, he wasn't really
that guy.
That guy. Yeah, he wasn't that guy anyway. So him being in the league any longer is probably was going to be that in the league much longer anyway, if we're being honest. And we stand, well, I can't say you, I stand with Cap. I understand.
I do too.
Why he did what he did. It wasn't anything crazy. He wasn't outwardly violent about the situation. He did a peaceful protest. Soldiers fight and die in this country for him to have that right. But
for sure,
for whatever reason, we don't want him. And get off my soapbox. But anyway, that's why he's formed a lot of doubt, is because of how he went about trying to get back into the league. And then also players understand, like, he really wasn't that good of a quarterback anyway. Like, yeah, okay, could he been a backup? Absolutely, he could have been a backup on somebody's squad. But playing and being the guy, top 16, top 10, it probably wasn't ever going to be
top 32.
Yeah, right. It probably was never going to be the case for him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope he takes advantage of the situation. Let me put it a different way. I hope he takes the opportunity to be a coach and get back in the NFL and live with that opportunity, in opposed to, hopefully he won't try to take a mile with this inch that he's being given. So, yeah. So, funny enough, another guy keeps teasing making a comeback to the NFL. Tom Brady, who is set to begin his broadcasting career this football season, keeps teasing about a comeback to football. In a video to the NFL's young quarterbacks, Brady states, "Just want those young bucks to know that if I wanted to come out of retirement, they still got something to deal with." Sticks, do you think Tom Brady is serious about coming out of retirement? If I'm being real, I think he's joshing. I think he's just, you know what I'm saying, I think he's doing something for media purposes and just trying to put things out there. Just, you know what I'm saying, have something to talk about, if I'm being perfectly honest.
And I think Brady is that type of person?
Yeah, I do. I think he's that type I think he's the type that will give people, I don't think he's trying to stir up controversy, but I think he's the type that to say something funny to give somebody something to talk about. I think he's that guy. I don't think he's a controversy guy. I don't think he's going to take different stances just to be controversial. I think he's the type of guy that'll say something about himself or about something that'll give something witty to give people something to talk about. I think he's that kind of guy. And that's why they want him to be a broadcaster, because he has a witty personality. He's that type of guy. And in some instances, he's kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they want to give him a broadcaster position. But if there is Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. And there's no debate in that. I don't think anybody will ever debate you. You can say Montana, you can say Marino, you can say a couple of different people, but they're not Tom Brady. And
Montana was how he was undefeated in the
he was undefeated. Yeah. And that, that's the crazy part, is that somebody else's story is that same story in the basketball arena, huh?
I'm just saying. That's what they say.
That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? I think Tom Brady's been to Super Bowl how many times? Like 10 times? 9 times?
Oh, 10. Was it 10? I thought it was 9.
It might have been 9. I was guessing with the 10. So you might be right with 9.
Word to Eli.
He's only lost to Eli. That's right. Yeah. So he's been 9 times and won 7. LeBron's been 10 times and won 4. I mean, no matter how many times you get there, is how many you're a winner regardless. You made it to the big stage. You're a winner regardless. Anyway, I'm not getting on the LeBron soapbox. Let me get off my soapbox. Let me get back on the other GOAT, Tom Brady. Let me get back on the other GOAT. So if there is anybody that can come out of retirement and probably still be effective, I would say it would be Tom Brady. if I'm being real, D-Lo, if I'm being real, I think Tom Brady if he was back in the Patriot system, back when he won all of those championships with the Patriots, if he was back in that dink and dunk, manage the game kind of system, bruh, Tom Brady would still be able to do it, bro. I think he can still, at 47, bro, I think he can still go out there and be somewhat effective. I'm going to go out on the limb, D-Lo, and say that if he came out of retirement, he would throw over 3,000 yards.
Okay. I mean,
close to 3,500.
Where did he fit? His last year with Tampa Bay, he threw what, 28?
I'm about to tell you. He threw Brady only 2 years removed from throwing 46, almost 4,700 yards and 25 touchdowns at 45 years old. 25 touchdowns and 9 picks.
I don't seem right. Okay.
It says,
I believe you. I believe you. It don't seem right though, because what was their record? They struggled that year.
I think they were just above 500. Let me see.
Ain't no way he threw for 4,600 yards. But anyway, okay.
4697. Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
Tom.
Damn, he did. He threw 46.
They were 9-8. 9-8. They were just above 500. 9-8. Yep.
Yeah. He had a 9.
And I think they made it to the playoffs, but they lost to somebody that year, I think. Did they make it to the playoffs? I think they did. I mean, they're in the NFC South, so they probably did, as terrible as that conference has been over the past few years. But yeah, I think they did make it to the playoffs that year.
He had a 54.6 QBR rating or
QBR.
Yeah.
I think if anybody could come back and do it at 47 after throwing almost 4,700 yards at 45, I think he could come in and throw almost 4,000 yards, bro. I think he could be effective.
He was he's gonna remain in good shape. He has that TB12 fitness that he does and diet plan. He doesn't eat strawberries because of.
I got strawberries in my refrigerator right now. They are delicious.
Yeah, he doesn't eat strawberries. He says strawberries are bad for you.
That's tough.
I feel like Tom Brady is one of the ultimate competitors, and that fire to play will always be there. He'll
It's never gonna go away.
Yeah, it'll always burn.
I still got it. Shit,
right?
And I know I can't go play.
But I don't think he's serious about a comeback. I think Tom Brady, again, one of the most competitive athletes there is. He's also one of the most shit talkingest athletes there ever was as well. So I feel like he's just talking junk.
He's just talking shit
because it's what he's used to doing. He's used to being with the guys and being able to talk junk because of his status, how great he is and whatnot. But in reality, he's not serious.
I don't think he's serious either, but I think he could do it though. I do think he could do it. I think he could come in the NFL and be effective at 47. I think he could.
Will he be he'd be in top 16? I don't think he would be in top 16. You talking about?
Nah, I don't think he would be top 16,
old, bro.
I don't think he would be top 16. I think if he went to a team, say for instance, he came in, if he went to the Cardinals, he'd start over Kyler Murray. Yes, I think he would. I think he started over Colin Murray. It
was surely because he's Tom Brady, but not. I don't think so, dog.
I think he would win a quarterback battle. Russell Wilson. I think he would.
I think so.
If he came to Seattle, he would beat out Geno Smith. I promise you.
I mean, I was wrong about him and retiring 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I thought he was going to retire after. I thought he was going to retire after that season. He ended up coming back for another one. But we talked about that on the podcast. That was that long? We've been going for that long. Did we talk about it on the podcast? Did we? Or no, I know we talked about his divorce with Giselle.
Okay, there you go. And then we might have talked about it at that point about him possibly. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I feel like he's just talking junk because that's what he's used to doing. If he wanted to be in the league, he would have already been back in the league, or he would have never retired 2 years ago he remained.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
he saw that money from that broadcast network. It was like, I gotta go. I've been taking pay.
I mean?
I've been taking pay cuts all my life, all my career. I need to make some money.
Right. Great point. He's about to start his broadcasting career. I'm sure he's going to put his heart and soul into that, just like he's done with football, to try to be better than Tony Romo at broadcasting and analyzing. You know what I mean? So it's almost like he is. Him and Fox are doing a publicity stunt to get more viewers.
I think so. That's why I said he is the type to say something witty just to stir up a little conversation, not necessarily controversy, but conversation.
I don't think that's Tom Brady's. I don't think that's his personality. He's too arrogant to think that people aren't going to watch this because he's on anyway.
I agree with that too.
I don't think he is gonna. I don't think he's doing that for publicity. I think he's just doing it having fun, and just so happens that he's about to go broadcast and it's gaining all this type of attention.
Yeah, I'm on the side to think he can. D-Lo might be on the side to think he can't, but
I don't think. I mean,
what do y'all think? That's what I want to know.
2,000, he definitely would throw for 2,500 yards.
I think he would go for over 3K, bro. Almost 4. I think he would.
That means he has to throw the ball over 40 yards, over 30 yards, multiple times a game. He wouldn't.
You don't think he could do that?
Season. I don't think.
You think his arm would give out on him because he 47?
Like Drew Brees out there, bro.
He said he's still working out. Just saying.
Okay, Drew Brees
might look like Peyton.
His last.
True, year. But no, he had an injury. Like he had a situation.
That's what I'm telling you.
Like he had degeneration in his muscles or something in his arm or some shit like that. I can't remember. It was a story about it, but
he's looking like he'll look like Peyton
Manning. Okay, that's yeah. There you
couldn't
go.
Throw the ball over 25 yards.
He could not. He was throwing ducks if he tried to throw that ball further than 20 yards.
And I'm sure Tom Brady could do it maybe twice or 2 to 4 times a game, but after that, if he had to do that every game. If he in a pass happy offense, nah, I don't see it, bro.
I can dig it. I still think he can though, but that's neither here.
Let me ask you this though before we get out of here. Why is it so hard for athletes to let it go?
Bruh, it's just so I'm gonna tell you from my experience, bro. Cause I still love the game of football and I love the atmosphere of football. I love the preparation for games. I love all the ultimate team sport and all 11 of y'all or 22 of y'all that's actually starting and playing, coming together for a common goal. And if one person doesn't do their job, then the whole offense or defense struggles. Like I just love the game of football, dog. And like I tell people all the time, if I could go back even to just college and just be in that atmosphere and play ball again, I would do it 100 times out of 100, bro. It's just the love of the game and the atmosphere, dog. Like I don't know. It's just something in us that's innate. That's like, we just want to be in that atmosphere. I think that's what it is, bro. I just love the game of football. I've been telling you, I've been trying to find flag football out here for the longest. Ain't been able to do it. And I've been out here miserable because that's what's been keeping me in shape was football, flag football. But apparently there is some out here, according to people I've been asking, but I'm gonna find out. But that's what I think it is. Just something innate in us that just loves the atmosphere.
Yeah. All right.
What you think?
I think it's just
pride or ego.
Know. It's all you know.
Or that too. It's
kind of who
we are.
Who you are and what your character is built off of.
Bro, we've been playing ball since we were kids, bro. Like, I've been playing football since I was 5 years old, bro.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
so
it's
like
since I was 7.
Yeah, my uncle, one of my uncles, God rest his soul, one of the greatest men I ever knew. He had a Pop Warner football team, and I played for my uncle since I was 5 years old. And he the one that put me onto the game of football, and I loved every minute of it, and I still love it to this day. So, it's, like you said, this is what we were brought up on. We're a product of our environment. That's what we knew. Yeah, it's what we know.
So it's where you learned a lot of your life lessons. I mean, because the reason I asked that is because you have very few individuals that have regular 9-to-5s. When they retire, they're like, man, I miss it. They'll go find something else to do, But actually going back to the job that they did for 20 plus years, it's like, I'm good on that. Athletes, you always hear them talking about, man, I wish I could go play again. You know what I mean? And again, I said it earlier, it's a kid's game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you grow up doing that stuff. It's something that you grow to love, but it becomes who you are. And when that is gone, it's like a part of you, it left with it.
Yeah.
And some athletes can deal with it better than others because they knew the time time came before they wanted to, and they just learned to cope with it. And some athletes, they can't cope with it.
It's all they know.
Yeah.
It's all they know, bro. Yeah, it eats them up.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, man, we about to get up out of here.
Yes, sir.
Luka Doncic.
77.
Yeah, Luka Doncic in the building. We hit 77.
We hit 77.
23 more, and we're gonna hit the century mark.
Yes, sir.
How'd that feel, man?
If it actually feels good, it's kind of bittersweet, you know what I'm saying? A little bit, because I felt like at this point in our podcasting careers, we'd be a little bit above where we are right now, but you know, it's a marathon, not a race, so we're gonna get there. That's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, that part.
Sounds like homie went for rising the sprint. Yes, that's
another. Just some lyrics for y'all.
Yeah, that's logic. Anyway, so that being said, we're going to get up out of here. We want to thank y'all for tuning in to Too Complex. Remember that life is oftentimes short and complex, but when it becomes too complex, don't forget to lean on those that you love to help you find simplicity and balance in life. Stay prayed up in this crazy world. A few requests thrown above can return peace and sanity. Thanks for loving us and supporting this podcast. It means the world to us. We're sending our love right back. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you listen to. And also follow us on all of your social media platforms. That's YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. We will start posting again soon, I promise. With that being said, if it ain't too complex, it ain't complex at all. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you. Salute.